Hey guys, this is Klein. Welcome to the Klein Corner. This is another thoughts on human interactions that I wanted to share. And, the topic this time is, does sex change everything? And it's something that I've been thinking about for a while. It's something that I've had on my list of things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And I hadn't really gotten to a point about how I wanted to word this, and I still haven't. So I feel like I always do better just shooting from the hip. And so this is me shooting from the hip. By the way, guys, if you like stuff like this, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification. I'm going to do more stuff like this one way or another. I like being able to share my 2 cents with you guys, and, whatever kind of opinion that you guys share, I do like to hear it, especially if there's things that, you guys share that I necessarily didn't think of. So I really do like that. But yeah, let's jump into it. So does sex change everything? I've had conversations with a few friends, and the answer, in the minority, the answer is no. The minority, I've got a very few select people who are able to look me right in the face and go, no, we can, I can pick up some shorty, we can go to the house and whatever, I can get in them guts, and then that's that. And, not think nothing of it, no feelings at all. And I think that's fair. I can sit here and say that, yeah, I'm sure that there are some people who are able to, I guess, have sex with certain people, and it don't even affect them in any way, shape, form, or fashion. They're able to just turn it off. They're able to just get that itch scratched and move on with their day. So, I guess that's just their thing, and it is what it is. I don't judge. Now, that being said, I think what the question should have been was, does sex change everything for anyone? And the answer to that question, I feel, is yes. I feel like, there's always a point where someone, there's only so much emotional time you can spend with somebody, so much time that you can spend with somebody before, whether through your opinion or not, or whether you want to or not, you start to relinquish yourself emotionally to that person. And before you know it, you want something more than what was intended in the first place. This pull, this natural attraction, it comes on its own when people keep choosing to bond physically and sexually with each other. There's a lot of movies with it. Me personally, I don't put myself in the category of I just don't care. I've always had to be that guy where, if we're jumping in bed, there's got to be some kind of feeling for each other, I got to be feeling you in some kind of way. And it's just me. This seems to be the most common consensus, But with that said, I think one of the most important things that needs to happen is that for the people who are able to, turn it off, I really feel like they need to understand that it's not just your feelings that you're risking when you decide to get into a situation like that with somebody, You gotta be more than just yourself. You can't just be like, I'm gonna just do what I want and F this person. All you're gonna do is hurt the people that you're laying down with, that you're trying to be friendly with, that you just want to have scratch and itch, and that's that. Even if both of you guys agree ahead of time. It's like, oh, I'm good, no, we're just going to do it and that's that. Don't even worry about it. somebody always catches feelings at some point. And in my experience, not me personally, because I don't jump into, you know, situations like that. But yeah, I've had friends come and tell me their stories, and it's actually really frightening, you know, how some of my friends are just so hurt and emotionally destroyed because they mistook that physical and sexual closeness that they had for a time and turned it into something more. Now that's their fault. That's not the other person's fault. But you have to understand human interaction to know that every action that you decide to have with somebody will always have an impact on their heart and yours. Okay? You just can't decide to do it one way. So, does sex change everything? Yes, it does. But I think the deciding factor on whether it does or doesn't is your feelings for that person. If there's some kind of initial attraction, all you're doing is sparking that flame into an inferno. And if you decide to spark that flame, regardless of your initial intention, you got to be ready for what comes next. So that's all I got for you guys. You know, appreciate you guys listening to my rant for a little while, listening to my thoughts on the matter. I've always wanted to be able to just talk about this for a little bit. You know, feel free to, you know, leave a comment. You know, I will reply, you know, and I am open to viewpoints that are not my own. And I love to talk about these things. So, you know, with that, you guys have a good one. It's been a pleasure talking with y'all. Peace out, all right?